Most people who just retired think the hard part is over. You filed your paperwork, you got your approval letter, and the deposit started hitting your account. Done, right? Not even close. Here's what nobody tells you in those first few months after you claim Social Security. The decisions you make right after you retire can quietly cost you hundreds of dollars every single month, sometimes for the rest of your life. And the worst part? Most people don't even realize it's happening until years later, when it's too late to fix it. Today we're breaking down the biggest Social Security mistakes that newly retired seniors are making right now. Mistakes that are costing real people $500, $800, sometimes over $1,000 a month. And we're going to talk about what you can do about it, whether you've already claimed or you're still deciding. Stay with me, because one of these might be happening to you right now. Let's start with someone a lot of you might recognize. Meet Mary. She's 64 years old, widowed, and after working for 38 years as a school administrator, she decided to retire early. She needed the income. Her husband passed 2 years ago, and between the grief and the bills, claiming Social Security at 62 just felt like the right move at the time. What Mary didn't know, and what her financial advisor never clearly explained, is that claiming at 62 instead of waiting until her full retirement age permanently reduced her monthly benefit. Not temporarily, permanently. She's receiving about 30% less every single month than she would have if she'd waited just a few more years. On a benefit that would have been $1,800 a month, that's $540 gone every month for the rest of her life. Many people don't realize that early claiming doesn't just affect this year's check. It recalculates everything: your cost of living adjustments, your survivor benefit eligibility, your Medicare premium calculations. It all flows from that one decision. Now, I'm not telling you this to make you feel bad if you claimed early. Sometimes early claiming is absolutely the right move. But if you haven't claimed yet, or if you're in your first year of retirement and wondering if you can change course, there are things you need to know. And that's just mistake number one. Here's where things get interesting, because the second mistake is one that hits even people who waited to claim at the right time. It's called the earnings test, and it is one of the most misunderstood rules in all of Social Security. If you are under your full retirement age and you're still working while collecting Social Security, the SSA can withhold part of your benefit if you earn over a certain threshold. In 2024, that number was just over $22,000 a year. For every $2 you earn above that limit, Social Security withholds $1 of your benefit. Now, here's something that surprised me when I first dug into this. People hear withheld, and they panic, and honestly, the panic is understandable. But what most people miss is that once you reach full retirement age, Social Security actually recalculates your benefit upward to account for those withheld months. You don't lose that money forever. But, and this is important, you need to plan around the short-term cash flow problem it creates. A lot of newly retired seniors don't know about the withholding until their check suddenly drops or stops entirely. That's a financial shock nobody should have to face without warning. Let me know in the comments, did you know about the earnings test before today? Because I've talked to so many people who had no idea this rule existed. Let's talk about James for a moment. James is 58, a former warehouse worker who had to stop working 3 years ago due to a back injury and diabetes. He applied for SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance, and after a long fight, he was finally approved. What James didn't realize is that his approval came with a 5-month waiting period before benefits start, and even after approval, the way his back pay was calculated left him confused and short. He thought he was getting one amount but received another, and he never appealed because he didn't know he could. This is where things get real. If you're on SSDI and something about your approval, your benefit amount, or your back pay doesn't look right, you have 60 days to appeal a decision. After that, in most cases, you're starting from scratch. And there's something else James didn't know. Once he's been on SSDI for 24 months, he automatically qualifies for Medicare regardless of his age. That's a benefit that can save thousands of dollars a year in medical costs. But if nobody tells you, you might not enroll on time, and late enrollment comes with penalties. See how quickly these things stack up. But that's not the biggest issue. There's a group of people who are being hit by something called URMA-A, the income-related monthly adjustment amount, and it's catching a lot of newly retired seniors completely off guard. Here's the simple explanation. Medicare Part B and Part 500 premiums are not the same for everyone. If your income in a given year crossed certain thresholds, you will pay more for Medicare, sometimes significantly more. And here's the twist. Medicare looks at your tax return from 2 years ago to determine this. So let's say you sold a house, took a pension lump sum, or did a large Roth conversion in 2022. Your Medicare premiums in 2024 could have been hundreds of dollars higher per month because of that single transaction, even if your income dropped dramatically after you retired. What surprised me most when I learned about this is that most people don't know you can appeal an URMA surcharge if your income has changed. It's called a life-changing event appeal, and it covers things like retirement, divorce, death of a spouse, or loss of income. If your financial situation is genuinely different now than it was 2 years ago, you may be able to get that surcharge reduced or eliminated. You can request that appeal directly through Social Security. You'll fill out Form SSA 44. If you've been paying extra for Medicare and your income is lower now, that conversation is worth having. Now let's talk about Robert. Robert is a 67-year-old Vietnam-era veteran who spent 22 years in the Army. He's collecting Social Security, he has Medicare, and he uses the VA for most of his medical care. On paper, he looks like he's covered. But here's the part that caught my attention. Robert is potentially eligible for VA benefits he's never claimed, specifically aid in attendance, which is a pension-based benefit for veterans who need help with daily living. It's not just for those with service-connected disabilities. Many veterans and their surviving spouses qualified based on age and medical need alone. The maximum aid in attendance benefit for a single veteran in 2024 was over $2,200 a month. For a surviving spouse, it was over $1,400. That's not a small number. And the majority of eligible veterans are not receiving it because nobody told them it existed. If you or someone you love served in the military and is now dealing with limited mobility, memory issues, or the need for in-home care, please look into aid in attendance. The VA website has information, and VSOs, Veteran Service Organizations, can help you file for free. Let's look at the numbers one more time, because I want this to land. We've talked about early claiming reducing benefits by up to 30%. We've talked about the earnings test creating unexpected cash flow gaps. We've talked about IRMA-A surcharges adding hundreds per month to Medicare costs. We've talked about unclaimed VA benefits worth over $2,000 a month for some people. Any one of these alone can cost someone $500 or more every month. Together, they can devastate a retirement budget. And they're all happening quietly to real people right now. So let's bring it home with the 3 most important things to take away from today. First, if you haven't claimed Social Security yet, don't rush. Every year you wait past 62 increases your benefit. Waiting until 70 can increase your monthly check by more than 75% compared to claiming at 62. That's not a small difference. Second, know your appeal rights. Whether it's an SSDI decision you disagree with, a Medicare IRMA-A surcharge that no longer reflects your income, or a VA benefit you were never told about, you usually have options. The system has doors. Most people just don't know where to knock. Third, talk to someone. A benefits counselor, a VSO, your local area agency on aging. These resources exist specifically to help people navigate exactly these situations. Many of them are completely free. You worked your whole life for these benefits. You deserve to receive every dollar you've earned. If this video helped you, or if you know someone who's newly retired and could use this information, please share it with them. That's how we make sure the right people hear this. Leave a comment and tell me, was there something in this video you didn't know before? I read every single comment, and your questions help me figure out what to cover next. If you're not subscribed yet, now is a great time to hit that button and turn on notifications. We cover Social Security, Medicare, Virginia benefits, SSI, SSDI, and all the programs that matter to people living on fixed incomes every single week. You're not alone in this, and we're going to keep showing up for you.